So you know it's Friday and we back with another Invest in Myself video. And before we even get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button. Go ahead and comment down below and share this video. It really does help me reach a wider audience base. So I truly do love you guys for commenting, liking, and sharing the video. And today will be part 2 of why you should invest in rental properties out of state. And before I dive deep into this, I do want to give a brief background into how I got started into real estate, how I bought my first house at 25, this particular house I'm living in now, and how I wanted to invest in rentals and make this an actual business for me. All right, so a little bit about me. I graduated from the University of Kansas in the fall of 2013. So after I graduated, I decided to stay in Kansas for about another year and pretty much just work. So at the end of 2014, I decided to move back to my hometown, which is Tacoma, Washington. And I pretty much moved in with my grandparents. And when I moved in, I already had an idea that, hey, I wanted to buy a house. I really didn't want to rent an apartment. So pretty much what I did for the whole 2015 is literally get a job, stack my bread, literally did not do anything. I didn't leave the house unless it was for work. I didn't buy anything. No clothes, no shoes, didn't go out to eat, didn't go to the movies. I literally lived under a rock. Like my money was in a vice grip. Like to this day, you can ask my family, you can ask my grandparents, my mom, I'm probably the tightest person ever. Like I literally didn't hit anybody up and tell them that I moved back home. I mean, I really don't have any friends, but the point is, like, I didn't do anything, lived under a rock for the whole year, stacked all my bread. And it's funny, I worked this little part-time job at the bank. I'm not going to name the bank, but it really wasn't even an extravagant job. I didn't have a high-paying job. I literally was just super frugal. Now, yes, I know you guys are looking at me like, Charles, you are freaking crazy. You didn't do nothing? Like, you didn't spend not a dime? No, I didn't spend a dime at all. Now, there is a saying that I do live by. Do what nobody else will do so you can live like nobody else can live. I mean, and if you think about it, there is literally no 24 or no 25-year-old that will literally just stay in their grandparents' house, stay under a rock, don't do anything, don't hang out with nobody, and just live under a rock and save all their money. I'm probably one of the 1% that will do it and actually feel comfortable about it. Like, it didn't bother me at all. But anyway, after 2015, I was able to save a lot of money. And honestly, I probably would have saved the whole next year in 2016. But my girl, she wanted to move down to Washington and I wanted her to move with me. So I decided to go ahead and get a house with the money that I had. So the money that I had saved up was probably about $26,000. So a pretty nice down payment for a house. Now this was before the Tacoma, Seattle area was freaking crazy. Now, I mean, it was crazy when I was trying to get a house, but it wasn't as crazy as this. The market's insane right now. But anyway, I had a real estate agent by the name of Joseph Bellamy. Awesome dude. He was the one that got me my first property, my first house. And the house that I ended up getting was actually a fixer, a house that needed a little bit of work. And it was a bank-owned property. I think it was like a short sale or foreclosure, whatever the case may be. So I got that house for $185,000. When we put a little paint and put some flooring on there, the house was worth about $230,000 or $240K. So a nice $50,000 or $60,000 appreciation that we instantly got for that fixer. So this is kind of the basis of how I got started and how I was able to use the equity in this particular property to go buy other properties. So I think the house was purchased in March of 2016. My birthday's May 1st, so I guess I was 2 months before 26. So I always say, hey, I bought my first property at 25, even though it was probably 26 years old. So anyway, when we got the house, I was so excited. I wasn't really thinking about rental properties just yet. I actually went back to school and got my master's in executive leadership. And while I was getting my master's, I was literally on YouTube learning ways to become wealthy. So I learned about velocity banking, and then I started to learn about real estate and the wonders of buying rental properties. So for the next 2 years, I was in analysis paralysis, pretty much kind of knowing what to do with the equity in my house and different things like that. I was actually saving up for more money to put a 20% down payment on a rental property. And you know what? I'm telling my girl about all this, hey, how we can build this wealth and things like that. And literally, I was so scared to act on it. I promise you, without her, I would probably still be looking at properties saying, hey man, I could do this. But pretty much, long story short, I told my girl, hey, you know what? We should invest in your home state of Kansas. They have pretty cheap properties in the Midwest. And literally, she booked a ticket down to Kansas and was like, hey, let's do it. If you want to do it, let's go. So she was the one that went down there for our first property. So now that we have a little background out the way, I want to tell you guys about each one of my rental property purchases and how it made me become a CEO. Now, I am no master by no means at the rental properties, but I am definitely getting better, and I just want to share all this knowledge with you guys. So property number one, we were very inexperienced, and the best thing that we got from rental property number one is probably a good tenant and just the experience itself. So with property number one, my fiance, she went down to Kansas. We found a real estate agent through a referral of one of her family members that helped them buy their first property. Now, this real estate agent was terrible, horrible. She literally screwed us. So let me tell you kind of what happened. So first little mistake that me and my fiance that we made here was actually looking at the properties like we were going to live in them. So, she takes a look at this property and she's in awe of this property. This property did not need any fixing at all. I mean, it was priced very high already. So the real estate agent, she sees this and she's like, hey, this is the property that you guys should get. So we're like, okay, yeah, we're just excited to get in the real estate game, get a rental property. So they were trying to sell this property for about $90K. So long story short, this is the offer that our real estate agent did. She said, hey, you know what? We made an offer of $95K. We will pay full closing costs. So they paid no closing costs, and we're going to take the house as is, no warranties. We literally offered the highest out of everybody in the bid, and then we're going to pay full closing costs, and there's no warranty on this. I know that you guys are thinking can you be that stupid? You did all this research, and the answer is yes, I was that stupid. I was just so excited. We were so excited to get this rental. And this isn't even the worst of it. So when we have the inspection, in the clause of the inspection, it said if there was something majorly wrong, we could back out of the deal. So when we started to realize hey, all this stuff isn't making sense. This isn't what I read about in regards to getting a good deal. We were just kind of hoping and praying that, hey, something's wrong with the house, basically. So they do the inspection, and something was wrong with the house. They tried to hide some type of fire damage by painting over it. So then when we got the inspection back, we were literally just going to pull out of the deal because we were like, hey, you know, this is crazy. She's literally trying to screw us. So once she sensed that we started pulling back on the deal, the seller's agent said, hey, you know, we can reconstruct the contract. So the first thing, we actually got a new roof on the property that they paid for through their insurance. So we don't have to worry about the roof for the next 20 plus years. And then they actually paid majority of the closing costs. So it was still a pretty bad deal, but it made us feel a little bit more comfortable. And about this time, she was about 30 days into Kansas, and we didn't want to go home empty-handed. So we ended up closing the deal. Now, one of the things on the deal was the seller, they had to put a stair in the back because they had a deck and it looks like they got rid of the deck. So they had to have some type of stairs going onto the back before they could sell it. So about time that they're finalizing the deal, my girl, she flies back here to the state of Washington. So no joke, the cement step that they brought and placed on the back of the house where the deck was, literally still had the wooden blocks on it. You know how you pick things up with the pallet and you move it? They still had the wooden block pallets on there, and the cement was not even sealed to the house. So it's like you can just move this back and forth basically. And on top of that, the cement was not all the way sealed right. So when it rained, the whole thing just crumbled into pieces basically. So we pretty much got screwed there. We had to pretty much pay about $1,000 to get our own step that actually worked. So all around, this was a bad experience for us. So with this first experience, we learned not to fall in love with what the property looks like, because we're not going to be the ones living into it. We want to focus mainly on the numbers and getting deals. And we also learned that we should have walked away when that real estate agent forced us to buy way over the market price. Even though we were down in Kansas, we still didn't get a good deal, even though our eyes were looking at properties and we were actually there. So moving on to the second property, we actually found a new real estate agent. It's actually one of my girl's family members. His name is Damon Gaines. Awesome brother. He works very hard. Excellent real estate agent. I would honestly suggest them to anybody. First time home buyers, people that are making this a business, trying to get rental properties. Awesome dude. So the second rental that we get, we actually decide to let the real estate agent show us the properties while we are back home in Washington State. Now we have to remember, time is money. So when building a team, you have to build off of some type of trust. So instead of wasting our time buying a ticket, flying down there, wasting our annual leave from work and things of that nature, we decided to trust the real estate agent. We told the real estate agent our vision in regards to making rental properties a business, and we want to get about 2 or 3 rental properties every year. So with that being established, we are pitching the vision to the real estate agent. We didn't pitch the vision to the first real estate agent. That first real estate agent probably just thought we were excited home buyers and that they can take advantage of us. But the way that we projected ourselves with the second real estate agent, we showed them our vision and what we need to get done to have you on our team. So with that out the way, we were focused more on the actual numbers of the property. So I can sit back in the comfort of my house and say, hey, let's look at this property. It's going to give us a high rate on investment because the rents are very high and this property is cheap. It looks like there's really not too many things to be done with this property. So long story short, we found a property that actually needed some work into it. It was a solid property. It was going to give us a really good return on investment. So the real estate agent did a good job. Now, what we did for the second property, we actually flew down there to look at what the repairs would cost us, what all needed to be done with the property. So, we're down here, we're taking a look, and we're trying to pretty much get everything done with the property. And we actually run out of time. So we're looking into property management companies because the first rental was pretty much in the Kansas City, Missouri area. This rental's in the Topeka, Kansas. So it's two different areas. So we were looking for property management. Now this particular property management, they have their own in-house maintenance team, which they charge a pretty fair price. Now, maybe could I get something cheaper? Probably could, but the property management pretty much, they get in there, they get the work done very quickly at a pretty efficient cost, and they can get it rented out. So even though we went down there to try to save some money and get everything fixed up, we just didn't have enough time. And in the long run, we may have ended up losing money because we had to buy so much equipment and try to get everything done that we couldn't get it done. So once we got the property management established, they pretty much got it fixed up in probably about a week or so and got it rented out. I think it stayed on the market for about 2 days and then we got it rented out. So there's a pattern. Every time that we go down there to try to save money or try to do something more efficient, it just was not working out. We are actually able to tell people our vision, tell the real estate agent our vision, tell the property management our vision and our timeline, and they are able to get it done. So I'm learning that, hey, I need to have a CEO mindset. I need to be looking for rock stars on my team that I can preach the vision to them. And once I preach them the vision, they're able to get it done for me without me having to spend a lot of time and effort. Because guess what? This time and effort, I can do other things that make me other streams of income. Like let's say a YouTube channel, teach you guys, right? So we're gonna go to my third rental property. And this one, we did not fly down there for anything at all. And it is actually the best property that we've got so far in regards to rate on investment. So pretty much this property, we told the real estate agent, they already know our vision. They already know what we're about. We're about the cash flow. We want houses that are maybe C plus, B minus class houses that are cheap, that we could fix up with very minimal maintenance and repair and rent those out at a high rental rate. So my real estate agent, like the rock star he is, he finds a property for us. He takes a look in regards to maybe some of the damages and things that need to be done. Now, this rental property is in the same area as the second rental property. So once we get it, pretty much we're calling up the property management and they already know the vision. They already know that, hey, we're getting about 2 or 3 every single year. So they already know what needs to be done. So, hey, I'm calling up the property manager, knows me by name, gets the keys to the property, pretty much evaluate what needs to be done, gives me the price on, hey, this is all that needs to be done. We can get it fixed up, get it out there. So they got it fixed up in about a week, and then we got a tenant in there pretty quickly. Now again, this took very minimal effort compared to the first one where we are pretty much buying tickets, flying down there, wasting our leave, and everything like that. So as I get more properties, I'm slowly building a team where this is going to become a business for me. I'm going to be the CEO. I'm going to say, hey, to my real estate agent, hey, I need another property. You know what I want? They're going to go ahead and find it, do the rental comps for me, saying, hey, you know, this is a pretty cool area. Rental comps are going to be such and such compared to how cheap the house is. I get my property management to go fix the house up very quickly and get a tenant in there. There's no reason for me to fly down, take a look at the property, see if I particularly want to live in the house, because I don't care. I just care about the rental comps and the rate on investment. So when you learn how to distance yourself from the property, you can get into more of a business mindset. You don't get attached to the property. You don't get attached to the maintenance. You don't get attached to the repairs, making sure it's perfect or anything of that nature. You pretty much let your team, your rock stars, do all the work for you, and you're going to build trust with them because you told them the vision on, hey, this is a business for me. I'm coming to you about 2 to 3 times every year. And if it goes really, really smooth, it may even be more than that. You know, my goal is maybe try to get 10 in a year. So they are going to do whatever they need to do, because this is going to be guaranteed money for the real estate agent. It's going to be guaranteed money for the property management and anybody else that I can get on my team. Maybe if I can even get a wholesaler that gives me off the market deals, I will definitely, invest with this person, put that person on my team. So anybody in the Topeka, Kansas area, if you guys do wholesaling and awesome and amazing deals, I will definitely pay you guys for those deals. So I hope this video helped you guys understand the mindset that you truly need to have if you want to make real estate investing in regards to rental properties a business. To have that CEO mindset, you don't have to be full hands-on and know every single little thing. And even if you do get burnt, you live and you learn. To build a business, your mind as a CEO, you need it to run like a machine by itself. So instead of finding all the great properties, you need to find a great team to find you the great properties. And then once that business starts running itself, you can go focus on other things and start another business and have people run that business, and then you start something else. So again, if this did help you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, go ahead and leave a comment, and please share with others. I really truly appreciate everybody that's rocking with me, that's liking, that's subscribing. It really helps the YouTube algorithm out, and I truly do appreciate it. Well, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next Friday.